Alright, cool. Let's start another review then. This will be the last one that I put up this week. I know my weeks are really weird right now, but I will be getting on a schedule very soon. This is a much more boring wall. All we have got is this plug. I like to think of it as minimalism, which is not how Kick-Ass is designed. That is what we call a segue right here. I have trade paperbacks of Kick-Ass, Kick-Ass 2, and Kick-Ass 2 Prelude Hit Girl. All of this is backwards because I'm recording it on my web camera again. I like these comics. I'm coming at this from a perspective where I saw the movie first, and then went on and read the comics. I liked the movies a lot. I love the casting. I love the elements of comedy in it, and violence in the action is really cool. So that is also what I found in the comics. It's a little bit different though because your characters are much younger. So we've got it's the characters look smaller in stature. It's a little bit different of this feeling. The comics are also, I feel like, bloodier. I think that's just because of the way that the art is drawn. It's grittier, and the movie was much more, I don't know, it was much more of a superhero film in the sense that this comic isn't so much a superhero film as a street level crime fighting thing and a story about Kick-Ass and Hit Girl and the kids that they actually are, because they are children in this. Hit Girl is I don't know, she just started middle school or something like that, which is actually great because this goes more into her background and her family's lifestyle, which is a little bit different in the comics. The adaptation that they made in the movies, I think, fit the films very well, but it is different from what happens in the comics. This comic This comic captures how shitty middle school girls are and how you almost wish you were Hit Girl because you knew you could beat the shit out of them. It's just really satisfying. The violence in this comic is great. The action is great. You can definitely feel it. The color in it is fantastic, and the drawing style is, it suits it really well. It's just classic comic booky enough, but also there's a little more depth to the characters, and it makes it, I don't know, it feels very cinematic when you're reading it. The other difference from the movie is that Kick-Ass 2, takes on a much more serious tone because the motherfucker, while he is more of a comedic villain character in the first movie / comic, takes a very, very dark turn in Kick-Ass 2. And it gets to the point where you can just see that he's completely out of control and just absolutely destroying this city. And I think it makes the stakes a little bit higher, so it makes the whole story of these kids just kicking ass. It makes it more impressive, and you really do care about the characters, but you also can just read the comic at a top level and just say oh yeah, I just want to see these guys beat the shit out of people. Kick-Ass 3 is finally out, May 2013, so I will try to get my hands on it. I do like the series, so I'm obviously going to try to wrap it up and finish it. And you know what? I do like the movies. I think that some people are given flack when they like a film that maybe doesn't stay true to the comic books exactly, or that maybe, I don't know, maybe isn't as good as some of the storylines that are in comics. But I like a lot of movies that I watched before I knew the comic book world, and since I am mostly a film person, I like to assess it from the standpoint of whether it's just a good film or not, and then taking it to the next step of whether it's a good adaptation. So adaptations are something that I really find interesting because usually good adaptations are something like the Game of Thrones TV series, where it actually starts to part ways from the book, more so than a strict, more like a Harry Potter kind of adaptation, where it stays to the text really well. So Kick-Ass, the adaptation, does differ from the books quite a lot, but I think that the way they adapted it works better for movies than directly adapting the comic book would. So that's what I enjoyed about this. But yeah, it's a fun series, and fun in the sense if you like violence, and it's also not fun in the sense that a man's dog gets murdered and they put the carcass of its head over his. Like, it gets really dark. If you're very adverse to violence, I would suggest maybe picking up a different superhero comic that is a little less gritty. But if you do like that kind of stuff, you're gonna love this series. I think this series does gratuitous violence the best out of any series that I've read so far. And I'm getting a call from Virginia, and I don't know anyone from Virginia. Are you gonna stop? Are you gonna keep going? So that's what I have to say about Kick-Ass. I do recommend picking up the trade paperbacks. Just because they're, that's easy. It's an easy way to get caught up on the series if you do want to maybe read it before you see the film or read it after you see the film. I enjoyed doing so either way. Oh, and Kick-Ass 2, if you're wondering, kind of combines Hit Girl and Kick-Ass 2 into one movie. So I read this after seeing the first film and these two before seeing the second film, and I had a good experience either way. So I hope that this is giving you a little bit of a look into the Kick-Ass series, and if you are interested in reading along, comment below and tell me what you thought, and I would love to see what people think about the film adaptations. I think I'm going to start maybe doing reviews solely based on those in the future, as well as just solely based on the comics that I'm reading. So yeah, I'm gonna go now because I have to get my sunglasses fixed before I leave for Prague because they're very loose on my face, and that's just not... Alright, bye. Oh, you've still got this great scene though from Kick-Ass 2. Sorry.